Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from SimpleProgrammer.com. And I got a question today about, about healing mental abilities. So this question is from Mikal, I believe. He says Michael/Mikal. And he says, I've been addicted to marijuana for 7 years, starting early, being 13 years old. I've been kind of a vegetable ever since, but I quit over 1 year ago, and I'm good now. I doubled my problems ignoring school. I had about 50% frequency, I'm assuming that means attendance, each year, which led to individual education in the last 2 years of high school by making up clinical statements that I was socially anxious, etc. So I'm not sure if he's saying he's made these up or if that was why. And never made homework since primary. How can I catch up? So he's got some additional info here. He says, I'd like to learn some methods for improving things mentioned in, and I've got a blog post on dating for programmers. Okay. That is cognitive ability, concentration, memorization, applying knowledge to solve problems, looking at people around. Despite my past, I still consider myself average, but I don't want to be average. I want to improve, especially at this matter, as I'm stepping into the programmer's world, and I want to be fucking good, not mediocre, if you know what I mean. So here's something I'll say about this. I think that, one thing you got to think about to start off is that, did you really damage yourself in 7 years being addicted to marijuana? Now, some people might say yes, and maybe there's some kind of, brain chemistry changes. I'm not going to deny that totally. But are you using that as a story, or are you using that as an excuse to explain your failure now, right? Now, you made some mistakes. Obviously, you only went to school, 50% of the time. I don't know if you said you were faking social anxiety, but maybe you caused it by faking it so that you could get out of stuff. You didn't really apply yourself to homework and whatnot. So you've got sort of what I call a tarnished reputation, right? There's this whole thing, if you give a dog a bad name, you might as well hang him. You might as well, kill him. Because once you've done that, then the dog is always going to be bad. And you've given yourself a bad name, right? And so this is a problem. A lot of times we give ourselves a bad name in a lot of areas, right? We're going to screw up in life, right? Everyone screwed up. I've screwed up. Just about any person you meet has screwed up and can regret some things in life. But you can choose to, it's all about how you frame it, right? It's all about the story that you tell yourself about your life, right? And so you can choose it and you can frame it and you can say, hey, you know what? I screwed up in life and I'm a screw up. Okay? Or you can say, you can have regret, and you can regret the things you've done in life and wish that things would have been different and feel like you're somehow damaged because of that. Or you can tell a different story. This is a story I choose to tell. I choose to have no regrets. I choose to see everything that happened in life, good or bad, right, which is all your interpretation, as something that led me to the point I am at now. It led me up to this point, and that I wouldn't be here making these videos, talking to you, like doing this, had I not made those quote mistakes, had I not gone down those paths, had I not discovered the dead ends in life, right? Or had developed my character in such a way by being embarrassed, by doing dumb things, right? You see what I'm saying? So again, you might say this is just a story you're telling yourself, and I would agree with you 100%. But the stories that we tell ourselves determine what we believe about ourselves, which determines what other people believe about us and what we're capable of. And so if you're telling yourself a bad story about yourself, you should expect bad results, right? So you've got to change that. You've got to figure out, what I always say, what's your hero story? Like, what is it? Like, yeah, you went through a bunch of stuff. Like, you made a lot of mistakes and stuff, right? But sometimes if you think about it, the best stories, the best motivational people that you hear about are the people that went through a whole bunch of stuff. If you're familiar with Tony Robbins, he tells his story of being abused as a child and being hungry and homeless and all this stuff, maybe not homeless, but hungry and and all these things, and he's made this sort of his hero story, right? It's like he went from, and if you study sales and marketing, right, a good marketing technique is they call it the hero story, and it's like, I was this, and then I went through this transformation, and I became this, and so you can too, right? This is a very inspiring story. So you need to, in your own psychology, again, not just to tell a story to someone else, but in your own psychology, come up with your story. Like, what is your story? Like, I was this, I went through all this, and now I've learned from this experience, I'm becoming this person, right? And the whole point of this is to disidentify with this bad name that you've created for yourself. So don't say just because you did this, you did marijuana for 7 years, who cares? That doesn't matter. Don't say just because you didn't attend high school or apply yourself, who cares? It doesn't matter. You don't need, there's no mental abilities you need to heal. What you need to do is you need to heal your identity. You need to disassociate with that identity and see yourself as the new person who's gone through that problem, who has learned from that experience, and who's ready to, you said you don't want to be fucking average, you don't want to be mediocre, then don't. Then be exceptional. Think of yourself as an exceptional person who gets exceptional results. Then everything that you do in life, when you're studying, when you're going for it, think of it as that person, right? As that exceptional person. And remember that. This is a good thing, right? It's all about the interpretation. So you have to interpret things that are going to benefit you, right? Even if it's bending reality slightly, it's fine. I'd rather bend reality to something that benefits me than believe something that harms me. Does that make sense, right? Because life goes forward, it doesn't go backwards, right? So there's no point in making sure that the past is perfectly accurately memorized, or you remember it, right? There's a real good point, though, in adopting the kind of psychology that's going to help you to move forward. So I'm actually going to give you a couple of resources here. One of them is by one of my mentors and favorites is Tony Robbins, which I mentioned in this video. It's called Awaken the Giant Within. Go get that book if you haven't already. That'll probably help you. Also, maybe even go into a seminar. But really, I think, just from reading your email, again, I don't know much about you, but I think that you've given yourself a bad name, and you believe this stuff about you. You believe that you're broken in some way, and that's not necessarily true. That's the story you're telling yourself. And when you change that story, you're gonna change your life. But it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take, fill yourself with as much positive stuff, as many stories as possible of people that had experienced failure in their life or overcome obstacles, and you're gonna see, that will inspire you, and that will change your mindset, and then you're gonna have that will to succeed. I mean, it sounds like you do, and like you want to, but you've got to change that. You got to stop looking. I mean, the fact that you emailed me telling me things this way says that you're still seeing yourself that way. And once you can change that, then your life will change. Then things will start to open up for you. And then also, then you can be an inspiring story to other people, right? And maybe that's your purpose. Maybe that's why you went through the stuff that you went through. Maybe that's why you made those mistakes, right? So, all right, I hope that helps you. Again, check out those resources I recommended. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button below. Click the bell to make sure you don't miss any videos, as I do them about 2 to 3 a day on this channel. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.